Hello from everyone's port, the Port of Oakland, California, where the Golden Gate and the Bay Bridges mark the entrance to our global gateway. Welcome to this year's annual AAPA conference. I look forward to meeting all of you.
Greetings from the Port of Vancouver, USA, located in Washington State on the mighty Columbia River. We look forward to seeing all of you this week, and we hope you have a great convention.
Greetings from the Port of Tacoma, located here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. Welcome to AAPA's annual convention from all of us here at the port. Please stay safe and healthy, and we hope you have a great convention.
Hello, I'm Roger Reese, CEO and Port Director, Galveston Wharves, located here at the Port of Galveston. First port in Texas, and the oldest port in the Gulf of Mexico, west of Louisiana. As you know, everything is bigger and better in Texas. So here's a big shout out from our team to yours. Greetings from Galveston!
Welcome to AAPA's annual convention from your colleagues at the Port of Stockton in Stockton, California.
Greetings from Seattle and Tacoma. Welcome to AAPA's annual convention from your colleagues at the Northwest Seaport Alliance.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Daniels, and I'm the Chief Executive Port Director at Port Everglades. As you can see behind me, bigger cranes mean bigger gains for world trade. As a proud member of AAPA, we wish you a great convention.
Hello from Longview, Washington, and welcome to the Port of Longview here on the beautiful Columbia River, where we're celebrating 100 years this year. We hope you enjoy AAPA's annual convention.
Hello from the Port of Palm Beach, the country's most efficient container port.
Hi, greetings from Port Tampa Bay. I'm Paul Anderson, President and CEO of Port Tampa Bay, sending warm wishes to you in Austin for the American Association of Port Authorities annual convention. From Tampa, the home of champions, to all of you in Austin, I am sure you will make many championship relationships while you're in Austin with all of our guests.
Greetings from the Port of Toledo. Welcome to the AAPA annual convention from your friends at the Toledo Lucas County Port Authority. Enjoy the convention.
Hello from Port Miami, global gateway and cruise capital of the world, located in beautiful Miami-Dade County. We hope you have a great convention and that you enjoy the conference.
Greetings from our Tushy Island of Curacao. Welcome to the Curacao Port Authority, home of the swinging old lady, the floating Queen Anna. We are excited as you are to see you back again at the AAPA Annual Convention of 2021. We are confident that we'll have a great conference.
Greetings from Port Milwaukee, located in the great state of Wisconsin on Lake Michigan. We're sending our friends and colleagues at the AAPA annual meeting a wonderful time and best wishes.
Greetings from the Port of Grace Harbor, Westport Marina, #1 fish landing port in the state of Washington. Hope you have a great convention and enjoy all the conferences.
It's great to see you all here from around the hemisphere to get our convention started right. Port friends, old and new, sharing points of view, and Austin shining bright. Austin days are easy and the nights are breezy. Now that you're here, I think you'll see. Austin just might set you free. Our ports keep world trade moving, and we keep improving how supply chains can be run. Our seaports deliver, using oceans and rivers, ships, trucks, trains help get it done. Austin days are easy and the nights are breezy. Now that you're here, I think you'll see. Austin just might set you free. Austin just might set you free. Austin just might set you free.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome AAPA President and CEO, Chris Connor.
I'm going to go off script right from the get-go here. Ladies and gentlemen, a star is born in Austin. Rod Kuhn, could you please stand up? Rod is from the Northwest Seaport Alliance. Rod, he wrote that song together with his daughter. They produced that video, that part of the video that you just saw, and obviously he sang it. That was awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, exhibitors, sponsors, good morning and welcome to the 110th American Association of Port Authorities Annual Convention and Exposition. It is a great pleasure to welcome you not only to this stylish and vibrant city of Austin, but also this stunning hotel property, the JW Marriott. Speaking of the Marriott, I would like to thank their management and staff for all their flexibility in working with AAPA on this convention. This year's convention is indeed a milestone event in many respects. This undertaking marks the first time in AAPA's history that the association has taken on 100% responsibility for both the financial and operational aspects. Secondly, we've consciously, with the endorsement of the AAPA board, decided to hold the event at a non-port location. While we will surely return to port cities, in fact, we'll be in Boston for the 2024 convention, the choice of Austin this year reflects the strong connectivity between ports, the countless business centers across the country and hemisphere that ports serve, and the enormous economic activity that ports drive across communities and nations. AAPA staff, along with our event planning partner, Global Event Team, have worked tirelessly over the last several months to put together a first-class business program that is both informative and inspirational. We want your Austin experience to be rewarding both personally and professionally. With COVID influencing overall paid registrations somewhat negatively, we've adjusted our costs wherever possible. And you may notice that a few of the nice touches usually associated with this convention have been left out. We've done that consciously, wanting to be good stewards of the money that you so generously pay to us to enable our year-round operations. As you might expect, given this moment in history, I'd like to make a few comments about the public health crisis that is still stubbornly impacting our daily lives. First, I want to say thanks to all of you who are here in Houston. All of us at AAPA are grateful for your presence. Please know that your health and safety is of paramount importance to us, and we've taken steps, which you've no doubt noticed, to promote a safe and great experience in Austin for everyone. Thanks also to those of you who are participating virtually. Stay connected. Thanks for staying connected, and we'll see you in Orlando next year. I won't be so bold as to try and speak for everyone, but I do know from many anecdotal comments received over the last few weeks and the last few days that a feeling of the show must go on was a common sentiment among attendees. That sentiment, I believe, was less about this convention per se and much more about a return to some semblance of normalcy, including in-person interaction with industry colleagues and friends. Several of our friends and industry colleagues from areas impacted by Hurricane Ida would have joined us this week, but are understandably focused on rebuilding their communities and their respective operations. Our thoughts and prayers go out to all those impacted. As many of you may know, after Hurricane Katrina in August 2005, an emergency relief fund was established to provide financial aid to impacted port employees whose lives are disrupted by hurricanes or other natural disasters. Many of you have generously contributed to this fund over many years. Hurricane Ida wreaked havoc and devastation of such a magnitude that requests for assistance in recent weeks have outstripped the fund's resources, and we are in urgent need of additional contributions to support our impacted fellow port employees. I'm asking all AAPA members to please consider donating to the fund. Your assistance would be greatly appreciated. I'd like to take this opportunity to give a shout out to former AAPA chair and current Cleveland CEO, Will Friedman. Earlier this summer, Will was diagnosed with breast cancer. Fortunately, Will's prognosis is excellent, mostly because the cancer was detected early. Treatment has already begun, and Will has a top-notch medical team directing his pathway to recovery. Please keep Will and his wife Heidi in your thoughts and prayers. When I last stood at this podium, it was October 15th, 2019. That was less than 2 years ago, but somehow it seems much, much longer. I think everyone here can understand exactly what I mean when I say that. Nevertheless, I am grateful for the opportunity to lead our industry association, and I remain enthusiastic about the future of the port industry throughout the Western Hemisphere. For the next few minutes, I'd like to share with you a state of the Port Industry Association, and in doing this, pass along a few reflections I have about our industry, about AAPA's evolution, and about the moment in history that is upon us. First, the level of camaraderie and collaboration amongst ports that I witnessed throughout the pandemic, especially in the early days, was simply awesome. Usually the fiercest of competitors, ports banded together to share experiences and best practices with one overarching goal in mind: keep essential goods moving to the front lines of the COVID-19 battlegrounds and keep industrial and consumer goods moving to factories, store shelves, and doorsteps. As the Port Industry Trade Association, we had a really good view of this, and trust me, it was and still is impressive. The AAPA team has changed considerably since we gathered in Norfolk. 15 of our team members are new to AAPA since then, many of them joining within the last 12 months. The team today is what I would call a wonderful blend of hands-on experience and youthful energy. It's been fun for me to see it all come together. You'll meet them in a few minutes on the video screen, and many of them are here with us in Austin. I hope you get a chance to spend some time with them. They love what they do, they love our industry, and are poised to deliver ever greater value to AAPA members in the weeks, months, and years to come. We've tackled some historic legislative matters, in particularly HMT reform in Mitsera. On HMT reform, let me just say that the industry stuck together, which perhaps, more so than anything else, got us over the finish line. There was some amazing and impressive 11th hour advocacy efforts by many members of the AAPA coalition to help get this done. Thanks to everyone involved for the unity that was showed. As for Mitsera, there's finally a mechanism in place for Congress to provide emergency relief dollars to the U.S. maritime sector, including ports. We hope and trust that Mitsera will be enacted to help repair and rebuild the several Gulf ports that were devastated by Hurricane Ida, and to help bolster the electrical grid impacted by California's wildfires. AAPA has upped our game in the professional development and accreditation arena. Our partnership with IAMPI enables access to a strong educational platform alongside AAPA's traditional program. And our longstanding collaboration with Lamar University allows existing and aspiring port leaders to translate their AAPA IAMPI accreditation towards achievement of a master's degree in port management at Lamar. We've also introduced opportunities for both ports and supply chain participants to access federal funding to train and upskill workers through AAPA's Accelerate Workforce Development Program. To date, 13 partner companies have enrolled nearly 800 apprentices, and 800 apprentices have benefited from the Department of Labor dollars that are behind this program. You can learn more about workforce development Wednesday afternoon during one of the networking salons, this one hosted by Noel Hasagaba from the Port of Long Beach. I am increasingly bullish on expanding AAPA's membership with a broad representation of not only ports and industry solution providers, but also with supply chain participants such as marine terminal operators, ocean carriers, rail and truck carriers, and warehouse and distribution centers. There's a significant universe of opportunity, and over the last couple of months in particularly, we've started to really gain momentum on this front. The governance model of the association has been modernized through the great work of the Bylaws Task Force 1 year ago. It's been gratifying to witness the energy and commitment that our slimmed-down volunteer board of 11 has put into AAPA. And this week, in fact, tomorrow, we'll be asking U.S. members to vote on a new dues structure that is fully transparent and allows ports a simple and predictable process to support AAPA's mission. Over 1 year ago, as the pandemic drove a huge change in consumer spending away from travel and entertainment and into goods purchasing, it bothered me then, as I'm sure it bothered you too, that ports were initially called out as the source of the congestion that the epic volume increases caused. It was just too simple for the media to publish photos of ships awaiting a berth at some of the largest gateway ports and conclude that ports were the culprit. With the benefit of time, a more complete and balanced picture has emerged. And in this narrative, the entire freight mobility network, including ocean carriers, rail and truck carriers, MTOs, BCOs, and yes, ports, share the stage in trying to sort out the bottlenecks and take both short and long-term corrective measures to improve freight mobility. In this context, I now see this as a moment in history that the port industry must seize upon. Decades-long underinvestment in our port systems, particularly here in the US, have been laid bare by the historic volume increases. The consequences are playing out in real time, impacting just about every facet of the American economy. Rather than play defense, we needed to go on offense, and we are doing just that. The bipartisan infrastructure bill has some serious dollars in it for ports. It falls short of what the industry needs, but man, it's a heck of a good start. AAPA's analysis of the bill projects over $5 billion in dedicated money for ports over 5 years. These dollars will be incremental above and beyond annual appropriations for existing grant programs like PIDP and annual expenditures for the Army Corps of Engineers O&M and Coastal Navigation Construction. On top of this, other grant programs like Infra, RAISE, CRISI are slated to receive significant boosts, creating additional opportunities for ports to pursue multimodal freight projects. As we speak, Congress is negotiating the President's economic agenda. The vote was expected yesterday, but you know how Congress is. They love to procrastinate. We anticipate a vote on the bipartisan package on Thursday as we're all departing on our way home. The partisan budget reconciliation package envisions a new $3.5 billion funding program for the electrification of ports. On top of that, another $2.5 billion for PIDP is included. All told, assuming passage of the annual appropriations, the bipartisan infrastructure package, and the budget reconciliation package, PIDP would be funded at $1.25 billion a year for the next 5 years. That's a 5-fold increase over FY21 funding levels. I truly believe that we are on the precipice of generational investments in our port infrastructure, including both water and landside investments. This will not only create huge incentives for ports and their private sector partners to invest, but also lays the groundwork for operational improvements for supply chain partners who use the ports and for suppliers who sell goods and services to the port industry. This is very real, and it's unfolding as we speak. We won't solve the congestion problems overnight, but with a combination of operational ingenuity, stakeholder collaboration on things like digitization and hours of operation, plus an influx of public and private investment dollars, we can and will make meaningful improvements to freight mobility and enhance the competitiveness of the port system and its users. There's one additional group that I want to mention today, and that is our convention sponsors. AAPA simply could not hold events like this without your support, and our industry could not thrive without your support. So on behalf of our industry association, I would like to thank our sponsors, our diamond sponsors for this convention, Great Lakes and the Port of Corpus Christi, our platinum sponsor, the Port of Long Beach, our gold sponsors, Jacobs Engineering, Burns and McDonald, and Deep Watch, and our silver sponsors, SAM, WSP, Cavotec, and E2 Open. To all of our sponsors, thank you, for without your generosity and support, the staging of this convention would simply not be possible. I want to also thank the Texas Port Association for their warm Texas hospitality at Sunday's welcome reception. Between the Welcome to Austin party and last night's grand opening of the exhibit hall, I think you already have a good taste of what we have in store for you. Now, it is my privilege to turn over the floor to AAPA's Chairman of the Board, Mario Cardero, for his welcoming remarks. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Before I start my formal comments, I'd like to say just a few quick things. Last night, one of my commissioners asked me if I was interested in going to dinner. So for those of you who wonder why I didn't have dinner with you, or this group, as executive directors, you never say no to a commissioner. So we walked down the street to a very nice restaurant, and many of you know that I don't eat meat. I tend to be a vegetarian. I think I am, but the only fish that I eat is salmon, that's it. So the commissioner, knowing that, made sure we went to a fish restaurant. So we go in there, and of course, I order salmon. And the young lady said, well, we don't have any salmon that hasn't been shipped in yet. Well, I didn't tell her who we were, but I did tell her the name of the port director of Galveston, Freeport, Corpus Christi. I said, if I were you, you better call these executive directors and tell them, where's my shipment? And the introduction, I think after seeing our people there in Grace Harbor, that would be a nice place to have a convention, would it not? Did you see that fish out there? And Galveston, what can I say? What a great commentary there. You know, my good friend over there and his staff, great environment. Casual, cool, relaxed, Texas. However, let me correct the record with my good friend Paul Anderson at Tampa. Did you hear him say the city of champions? Paul, you lost the World Series. There was no fraud. We won it fair and square. And as a matter of fact, the Los Angeles Rams, anybody who watched football this past Sunday, beat Tampa. So anyway, sorry about that, Paul. Just wanted to correct the record. And last, on a more serious note, let's give Chris Connor another hand of applause here. Chris and his staff have absolutely been great during this time of crisis, during these time of challenges. AAPA has not only survived with regard to the milestones that we needed to reach, but this staff has just been fantastic. And for that, before I make my formal comments, I want the staff to stand up, and let's give them an applause. Stand up, AAPA staff, there you go. As Chris mentioned, there's a lot of good news aside from the crisis that we're in. And coming out of Washington in terms of the money's reports. At our board meeting yesterday, Carrie Davis gave a great presentation to the board of directors. And for those of you who may not know, Carrie is a lawyer, was at University of Pennsylvania, right? You know, and does a great job. You would have thought the guy was in court, you know, presenting to a jury. The demonstrative evidence, the empirical evidence, and the passion of what we need to do. So we're in good hands. So now let me move forward with my formal comments. Thank you all again for being here. I know that we've been meeting and getting together frequently over the past 20 months via Zoom. And yes, these meetings have been quite productive, but there's nothing like meeting face to face. So I'm very pleased that you could join us here in person. Obviously, we are still trying to be safe and careful as we reconnect here at the Association of American Port Authorities. We are taking precautions to protect your health and safety. Thank you for your patience and cooperation as we continue our collaborative efforts to find ways to hold significant, important events like this. I've got my wristband, and I'm sure you have yours. So we're all going to make this work as best we can. This week, let us connect with our old friends and make connections with new friends. For our long-standing members, this is an opportunity for all of us to meet and engage, especially with our new corporate members, industry solution providers, and supply chain partners. And I'd like to thank our exhibitors. We are thrilled to have you here. The exhibition hall is one of the features at every convention that would be difficult to recreate or duplicate online. So be sure to visit our exhibition hall and take time to talk with our exhibitors who may have just the solution for you that you may be looking for. And in these times, we need a lot of solutions. At this convention, we hope you will find that you have an agenda filled with compelling programs and presentations. After all, we've been through a lot over this past year. Actually, it's a year and 3 quarters. And there's a lot to talk about. We have a heavy agenda. There's been challenges. Yet, we do have opportunities. There have been times in our history as a whole has been faced with dramatic challenges. And I'm sure you will agree this is one of those times. The supply chain has been disrupted. However, our will and our determination to address the challenges before us has not been compromised. The AAPA and this industry have shown that together we are stronger. In the last 2 years, the industry moved from uncertainty due to the trade war to chaos due to the coronavirus. And many nations are still struggling with COVID-19. None of us know where this will go. But one thing we have all learned is that we need to be ready for any eventuality. At the AAPA, we believe that our stakeholders and collaborating as an industry is the only way to meet these shared challenges. Therefore, I would like to thank all of you for being part of the American Association of Port Authorities. We are committed to listening to you, working with you, and overall, always improving AAPA. It is our cardinal objective for Washington, D.C. to recognize AAPA as the voice of the nation's ports. Speaking of challenges, keep in mind that the aftermath of Hurricane Ida is still being felt along the U.S. Gulf Coast and Northeast. Ever since Hurricane Katrina, the AAPA has offered assistance to port employees who have suffered catastrophic losses via our Port Employee Emergency Relief Fund. If you are able to, please consider making a tax deduction or tax-deductible donation to this fund. As I see it, when we collaborate, we succeed beyond all expectations. At this convention, we have an opportunity to collectively consider challenges that we face now and that we expect in the future. I know it's going to be a very productive few days for all of us. Welcome to Austin, Texas. And again, thank you for being here, and thank you for your continued collaboration during this unprecedented crisis. But the good news, Washington is listening. Monies are going into the supply chain and ports. So with that, let's enjoy this conference. Thank you so much.
The location is fabulous. For many reasons, but I think, importantly, to be in a location where we could quickly get to the federal agencies as well as to Capitol Hill, and a place where our members, when they're here on their own business, would have a place to come in between their own meetings, spend some time with us, and that way we could get more engagement with them. So it's a great location.
Being in Old Town was wonderful, but it didn't feel very connected to what we were doing and, in terms of our mission. So having this space that's not only branded, but is sitting smack dab in our nation's capital, close to Capitol Hill, close to all of our decision makers is really exciting for me to see. It's been fun to see it all come together.
I think the location is key because it lets our government affairs folks really, get to the Hill on a regular basis, talk to their colleagues up there, really be able to influence policy. And it just makes it simpler being in the city itself.
I have the privilege of creating an atmosphere for our members in the event they want to meet here in our new office, because we have ample space, we have technology that they need if they want to have a small meeting or something like that.
It's a great, location to kind of stage meetings out of. I'm picturing our lobby days of the future up on the Hill, where we'll have, our members come and meet us here in this office, and we'll be able to kind of stage a lobby day out of this space and go up to the Hill and meet with, the people making decisions that are going to affect ports around the country.
I mean, I think us being here, being where we are is great for advocacy. We've already had members of Congress come by to the office. We've had meetings in the office. With congressional staff. It just makes life a lot easier, and it's so easy to get to. It's right in between Capitol Hill and Reagan Airport.
We rebranded this year. We have a new tagline, Essential, Resilient, United. We're here for our members, and we want them to know that we're here to help them grow, and I'm super excited to help spread that message to our members.
Putting on my lobbyist hat, we are in the fray. We're in the action of things. We're a stone's throw from
some of the agencies that work most closely with our industry. We are in the heart of where big decisions are being made about our industry, and that's a great way for us to get face time and access with those decision makers.
Had the opportunity to bring here some reporters, and their field offices were in Washington, D.C., whether it was with Bloomberg News, the Journal of Commerce, or even the D.C.-focused Politico. It's a very mission-driven, purpose-driven city, and I think that's why it's so perfect for AAPA to be right here in the heart of Washington.